Greetings, this is Bradford Donald Keller Townsend, and this is a forward research report, Monday, January 14th, 2019. And this forward research report is a response to Charlie LeDuff and Chris Hedges from the RT broadcast. I'm going to title this Unspeakable Facts. Charlie was a friend of mine when he was a student at the University of Michigan and my brother's roommate. That's how I know Charlie, and it's been a pleasure to watch his very successful career. He's had his own television program on the Discovery Channel, authored I think 4 books, been with a reporter for the New York Times and a television reporter for Detroit Fox affiliate. Chris Hedges is a well-known former foreign correspondent for the New York Times and written multiple books, graduated from Harvard Divinity School. They're both good gentlemen. They, I think, are muzzled and not able to speak to certain critical facts that are of tremendous importance, and unfortunately, solutions to these problems can only be partial. There isn't maybe a couple of them. There can be some improvement, but I'll start off with these facts. And the first one is, this is from Scientific American magazine. You can see I subscribe. Only 60 years of farming left if soil degradation continues. Generating 3 centimeters of topsoil takes 1,000 years, and if current rates of degradation continue, all the world's topsoil could be gone within 60 years, a senior UN official said. There's an excellent book called Dirt, D-I-R-T, by Dr. Montgomery, and there's other sources, I'm sure. But this is huge. Using mechanical petrochemicals in farming kills the soil, and it takes a long time to regenerate, and you need living soil with microorganisms like fungus and bacteria and roots, and you need to rotate your crops with nitrogen affixing or breaking, handling beans like cowpeas and things. You can't just keep farming the land and pouring chemicals on it, and the chemicals also are hugely bad pollutants. So you can check out this article at Scientific American. And there's many other good sources on the degradation of our soil. And we're losing, I would add, 14 million hectares, it's estimated, of arable farmland because of human population growth. So land is taken out of cultivation that is good farmland, and it could be a school soccer field is put on there, but it's not used for agriculture anymore. Or it could be an expanding desert. There's many different reasons, but a hectare is 100 square meters, and in American terms, that's about almost 2.5 acres of land. So that's more than all the farmland under cultivation in Indiana. I calculated, in half of Kentucky, because you can't farm all the land. So rapidly growing populations, and also populations like in China becoming more affluent. More land is taken out of cultivation. So this is a huge one. How are we going to feed ourselves between mid-century and the end of this century? The next one is, world faces mineral shortages. Key minerals will soon be short supply, and a lack of investment in new mines, according to the study. They say it takes 10 to 15 years for a new mine to come online, and there are very few new mines The mining companies don't see it worth the effort to open new mines. Copper will be running out, over the next. It's already getting to be in short supply. Iron, neodymium is used in dynamos in wind farms. That's the big magnet that induces current from the spinning blades. And so you need very powerful neodymium magnets that only comes from like one mine in the world in China, where slave labor, because it's so toxic. So the iridium, lithium, which is used for batteries, is there's no way they can keep manufacturing large numbers of electric cars, and batteries cannot be used to power trucks and tractors and large machinery. They don't have the energy density. That's why you can only use them for like scooters, motorcycles, and light cars. So we'd have to rebuild an entirely new electrical powered infrastructure if hypothetically, if wind and renewable, but all resources are dependent on fossil fuels. The roads that you use to get to the sites are made out of asphalt, which is a distillate of crude oil. EROI is something that you don't ever hear anybody talk about in the mass media. Oops, some ad popped up. Don't know how I can. Oh shoot! Or out in the back. Okay, I'll just try to. But there's solar voltaics. This is again Forbes, so it's going to be optimistic, favoring industry, and solar in sunny places like Arizona and Spain. Actual performance of large farms of solar panels only comes out to be at 2 or less when and that is a very conservative. You could even lower it lower as you add more energy in. So EROI is energy in for energy out. So solar is probably, with storage, is negative. It's an energy sink. You have to put more energy into building the storage and installing, maintaining the panels. Solar panels are very fragile. They need special pH water that's extremely pure just to wash them, and they're subject to hailstorms, sandstorms, and if you buy solar panels, you probably won't ever get the electricity out, that the amount of energy it took to manufacture, transit it to you, for you to install it. If you took the calories you burn putting it on the roof and everything, by the time you go through all that with storage, it's going to be an energy sink. You'll never get the energy out that you put into putting solar panels up. Biomass, in actual practicality, in some places like Brazil and the tropics, it's a better deal, but when you get into the more temperate, above 35 degrees latitude, things just don't grow with enough sugar in them. So biomass, you need about 17-18 return on energy to maintain a country like the higher using energy countries like United States, Canada, Australia. The Dutch and the Netherlands, could probably get by with 7 to 9 because they bicycle and have public transportation, and a lot fewer people have cars. They walk and bike more, and it's a very dense, one of the world's densest populated areas, and so everything's around you. You can go shopping and do everything by walking and biking short distances. And then, but the United States, we use over twice the energy of the Dutch, so we're up here. We need and we have the world's largest expensive military, and to keep all that going, we probably need 18. So solar's negative. Biomass in places like the United States and Canada is flat to negative, and you remember we need 17, 18. Wind, I've seen 14 without storage, and so that would bring this down to probably 2. So that's well below what either the Dutch, and again, it takes a tremendous amount of energy input, including lots of fossil fuels and including maintenance and repair parts. So as the fossil fuels will will be exhausted this century. You won't be able to have wind without fossil fuels. Solar, that's using lenses and mirrors. If you want 24-hour energy, again, in actual practice, this would be lower because you have, maybe they didn't take into account, you have to have insurance and health insurance for the employees and all that. Everything all in, you're going to be down probably below even where, and you can only have it in certain places with the right conditions. And then this is the most advanced natural gas, coal. We've run out of our anthracite coal, and now we're into the high polluting bitumen coal, and coal mines around the world are. So we've already hit peak coal and used it up. The British Empire was powered by coal, and they don't have a single working mine in the United Kingdom anymore. So and coal is hugely destructive, tremendously destructive to the environment, with mountaintops being cut off and surface mined, and surface mining is very bad for the environment. And these low grades of coal have heavy metal, has arsenic in it, it has sulfur in it, which causes acid rain and all kinds of other pollutants. And in most places in the world that aren't the wealthiest countries, they aren't really concerned with that. And so 25% of your coal is, toxic. And then the tailings that come out after you burn the coal, we could have huge disasters around the country if the dikes give way, because with all the waste coal, the stuff they've already burned, and they've used chemicals to try to take pollution out of the air and stuff, but sometimes those chemicals are toxic. So there's like small lakes that are full of toxic material from coal. Hydro is doable, but it's only in certain geographic locations. It's limited, and only a small percentage of the energy produced in the world. And nuclear isn't. For old mature plants it can be this high, but for newer ones it's under 30 because they're so expensive to build and so heavily regulated. And so there's only a few being built in the world right now. And nuclear waste issue has not been solved, and it's building up and is highly radioactive and a big issue. So in our ensemble of unpleasant facts, we're going to go to EcoWatch, and humans and our livestock, which our chickens, our cows, our hogs, and all the things of the world, now make up 96% of the human or the biomass of mammals on Earth. Only like 14,000 years ago, we only made up less than 1% of the world's mammal biomass. And now only 4% of the mammals on Earth are either not ourselves, our dogs and cats and cows and chickens, and so I guess that wouldn't count on the mammal, but the chickens. I think about it, but you get the idea. The United States, human beings, and you can see it here where you hardly see any wild animals, but you see dogs and human beings around all the time. And all the deers and the mountain lions and all that have just become tiny. And it's really the humans for thousands of years, even back during the Stone Age, have been having effects on the environment and caused major changes. This is a little section I found on fishing. And 2/3 of the world's fish are overfished and depleted. This Forbes article says 4,714 fisheries were assessed in 2012 by the UN, and 32% at or above the biomass, total mass of the fish left in the water. So that supports a maximum sustained yield. Only 1/3 of fisheries overall are fished at levels that are allowed to repopulate. So that means all the remainder are, the way they're being fished now, will collapse. And there's many good articles on overfishing and illegal fishing. So there's a whole ensemble of facts that are disturbing, and any one of these, whether it's pollution, which I didn't cover, it kills millions of people every year, and by moving manufacturing to countries that don't have environmental regulations, they're dumping all kinds of toxic chemicals into the water and into the air, and our soil is being compacted and degraded, or over-farmed, just like the oceans. Are 40% of the world's population depend on seafood for protein, and the majority of that is headed toward extinction. And overall, in my lifetime, probably over 60% of the world's wildlife has gone extinct. So we're having huge problems with insects like bees, and we need them to pollinate so we can have our fruit and plants, that we need to eat. So we have huge problems. And people like Charlie LeDuff, do have audiences. They can't talk about it. And people like Chris Hedges, he can talk about, let's say, what he sees as moral standards lowering and customs, around the developed world or the world in general. But these are the real hard-hitting ensemble of facts. And this is why by the end of this century, or really by 2070, well below the end, and I have young members in my extended family that are like 3 years old and 6 months old, and they if they live a normal life expectancy of people that are used to today around 80 years old, they're going to be well into past when we will have depleted our natural resources, our fisheries, our farmland. So these are big, huge issues, and that's why, even though I don't get many views, I keep putting the videos out there. Please share my videos, like and subscribe. I do not use or ask for any kind of funding because I don't want to have ads. A lot of these corporations' behavior I don't approve of, so I won't sign the agreement to monetize my videos. And I don't know if I just don't get many videos because my videos aren't as good as others, or they claim that in writing that is not the case in their documents. So please like and subscribe and share if you like what I'm saying. I'm financially independent, and I do this because you could see how big these critical facts are, and it's because I care about posterity, and about humanity. Thank you very much. Au revoir, aloha, ciao.